Today, we're exploring a monumental shift in global trade, reshaping economic and geopolitical dynamics, with Europe and China forming a groundbreaking alliance that could leave the United States struggling to keep pace. At the heart of this transformation is the Middle Corridor, a new trade route connecting China to Europe via Central Asia and Turkey. Let's break down the 7 key shifts driving these changes in the global economy. Number 7. The game-changing Middle Corridor. The Middle Corridor, also known as the Trans-Caspian International Transport Route, is revolutionizing trade between China and Europe. This overland route stretches across Kazakhstan, the Caspian Sea, Azerbaijan, Georgia, and Turkey, bypassing traditional maritime paths like the Suez Canal. By cutting transit times from weeks to just days, the Middle Corridor is rapidly becoming vital for industries like electronics and automotive that depend on speed and reliability. As a major component of China's Belt and Road Initiative, BRI, the Middle Corridor benefits from huge infrastructure investments. Rail networks, ports, and logistical hubs are helping Europe diversify its supply chains and reduce risks associated with congested maritime routes. By avoiding regions prone to piracy and instability, this route offers a strategic advantage. With plans to double freight volumes by 2025, the Middle Corridor is poised to redefine global trade. Number 6. Europe's strategic realignment. European nations are recalibrating their trade strategies to align with the Middle Corridor. Countries like Hungary, Poland, and Romania are investing heavily in rail networks and logistics hubs to strengthen connectivity with Asia. This shift is a calculated move to reduce dependence on maritime routes dominated by global shipping giants. The European Union's involvement in the Belt and Road Initiative signals a growing commitment to closer ties with China, with Italy and Greece among the countries upgrading their ports and infrastructure as part of BRI projects. This partnership allows Europe to tap into Asia's rapidly growing markets, while also addressing vulnerabilities in global supply chains amid geopolitical uncertainty. The Middle Corridor is proving to be Europe's competitive edge in navigating shifting trade dynamics. Number 5. The declining influence of U.S. trade dominance. For decades, the United States has been the dominant force in global trade, controlling crucial maritime routes like the Suez and Panama Canals. However, overland alternatives like the Middle Corridor are diminishing this influence. These new routes bypass U.S. influence choke points, fundamentally altering global supply chains. While the U.S. has launched initiatives like the Blue Dot Network to counter China's BRI, it has struggled to match the scale of China's investment. NATO allies in Europe are increasingly prioritizing the Middle Corridor for its economic advantages, often sidelining political considerations. This shift signals a decline in U.S. dominance in international trade and presents challenges to its broader geopolitical strategy. Number 4. The Middle East's role as a trade nexus. The Middle East is quickly becoming a crucial hub in the Middle Corridor, transforming global trade routes. Turkey's strategic location. Its strategic location between Europe and Asia, coupled with significant investments in modern railways and expanded ports, has turned the Middle Corridor into a key transit hub. Iraq is enhancing its role with a $17 billion infrastructure initiative aimed at connecting its ports to Europe via rail and road networks, providing a faster and more affordable alternative to the Suez Canal. Iran is also contributing by increasing connectivity. Despite ongoing geopolitical challenges, these developments are reshaping the region's economic dynamics, strengthening its integration into global trade systems. As the Middle East becomes an essential link in the Middle Corridor, it challenges the dominance of traditional maritime routes and positions itself as a critical player in the future of global commerce. The Belt and Road Initiative, BRI, has rapidly emerged as one of the most influential geopolitical and economic projects of the 21st century. Since its inception in 2013, China's ambitious BRI has been reshaping the global trade landscape by funding infrastructure projects across the globe. The initiative has already supported the development of over 3,000 infrastructure projects in more than 60 countries, weaving a vast and interconnected network of trade routes that span across Asia, Europe, and Africa. At the core of the BRI's success lies its Middle Corridor, a pivotal route that links China to key markets in Europe and the Middle East. This strategic corridor has become a prime example of how targeted investments in infrastructure can revolutionize global commerce by enhancing transportation networks, rail systems, ports, and roadways. the Middle Corridor has significantly reduced transportation costs and time, which in turn boosts trade efficiency. Several European nations, including Greece and Italy, have been quick to embrace BRI projects. These countries have upgraded their infrastructure and streamlined trade, benefiting from improved logistics that make their economies more competitive on the global stage. For China, these partnerships are not just about economic growth. They are about reducing dependence on U.S.-controlled maritime trade routes, which has become an increasingly important strategic consideration as tensions with the United States have risen. However, the BRI has been met with criticism, with detractors arguing that it creates a cycle of debt dependency for participating countries. Critics claim that the enormous loans offered to finance these infrastructure projects could leave countries vulnerable to Chinese political influence. Yet supporters counter that the BRI is fostering growth and driving international cooperation in regions that might otherwise be left behind by global trade dynamics. Despite these debates, there is no denying the BRI's impact on the global trade landscape. The initiative's influence continues to reshape the flow of goods and capital, establishing China as a central player in global commerce, while contributing to the rise of the Middle Corridor as a critical global trade route. The implications of the Middle Corridor extend far beyond mere trade routes. Economically, it is already having a profound impact on how goods move between continents, drastically cutting trade costs, improving efficiency, and reinforcing the resilience of supply chains in a world that has been increasingly marked by volatility, exacerbated by the COVID-19 pandemic and geopolitical tensions. The need for diversified and robust trade networks has never been clearer. The Middle Corridor, with its newly improved infrastructure, plays a central role in ensuring that global supply chains can withstand shocks and disruptions. Politically, the U.S. is closely watching this evolving partnership between China and Europe, as Chinese infrastructure projects multiply across European soil. The U.S. sees this as a direct challenge to its influence on the global stage. The collaboration between Europe and China signals a shift in global alliances, with many European countries placing economic interests above long-standing geopolitical relationships with the U.S. This has led to a realignment of political priorities, with some nations prioritizing economic growth and trade partnerships over alignment with Washington's strategic vision. Central Asian countries, too, are reaping the rewards of the Middle Corridor's expansion. Nations like Kazakhstan and Iran are strategically positioned along this route, and they have capitalized on their location by attracting investment and strengthening their own trade networks. This regional empowerment is contributing to a more multipolar global order, one that dilutes the dominance of Western powers and gives rise to new centers of economic and political influence. The Middle Corridor is far more than just a trade route. It is a symbol of a fundamental shift in how global trade is organized. The old system, dominated by maritime trade routes controlled by Western powers, is being challenged by this new and diversified network. Through the Middle Corridor, China and Europe are not just expanding their trade options. They are reshaping the very fabric of global commerce. By reducing dependence on traditional maritime trade routes, they are creating an interconnected land-based network that increases trade efficiency and reduces geopolitical vulnerabilities. For the United States, this emerging reality presents both challenges and opportunities. The Middle Corridor directly challenges U.S. economic and geopolitical hegemony, prompting the need for the U.S. to reassess its global trade strategy to stay competitive. The U.S. will have to embrace bold strategies such as investing in its own infrastructure, forging innovative international partnerships, and addressing the vulnerabilities exposed by global supply chain disruptions. As Europe and China continue to strengthen their economic bonds, the stakes in global trade have never been higher. The Middle Corridor represents the dawn of a new era, an era where power and influence in the global economy are no longer defined by traditional maritime routes, but by a dynamic and evolving network that spans continents and reshapes economic relationships. The rise of the Middle Corridor is undoubtedly one of the most significant developments in global trade in recent history. It signifies a move toward a more diversified and resilient global trade network, one that challenges the traditional dominance of the U.S. and its controlled maritime routes. The partnership between Europe and China is reshaping the future of commerce, demonstrating the transformative power of collaboration. For the United States, this moment calls for innovation, adaptability, and strategic foresight. The challenge is clear. Will the U.S. rise to meet the challenge of the Middle Corridor, or will the corridor become a cornerstone of the new global economy? As global trade continues to evolve, the question remains: how will nations navigate this shifting landscape? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think the U.S. will successfully reclaim its position, or is the Middle Corridor poised to solidify China and Europe's place at the forefront of global commerce? Don't forget to subscribe to stay updated on the latest insights into global trade dynamics. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.